This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the show that is Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend.
Philman Perich.
That's him. Hey, Philip. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, all you listeners, to the show. Superconnectivity, a show where we try to connect things superbly. Okay, trying to think what's on the agenda tonight.
Well, I know we already hit the Martin Scorsese on Capes and Lunatics 126.
Yeah, so we'll let that go. Although, I wouldn't mind talking a little bit of Joker, because we're in the theory phase of Joker, which means that a lot of the great YouTubers out there are out there pushing their theories on Joker, and there are a lot of them. And I kind of came into what I think might be the most interesting Joker theory of all. And the one Joker theory that might just make everyone happy. You ready, Phil?
Yeah, go ahead.
This isn't the Joker. None of this happened. This is one man's delusion of if he were the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that theory, and it's like, yeah, maybe, spoilers at the end, that big riot, it's like, he inspires the real Joker or whatever.
Well, no, not even that. No, not that he inspires the real Joker, that the real Joker is a thing. That there is a Joker. And this is a guy who is lost in time, lost in space, and in meaning. And in his delusions, je suis Napoleon. He has decided he's going to tell the people in Arkham that he is Joker. And if nothing else, that explains certainly why the psychiatrist or the social worker look at him with that dead-eyed look, like, third one this week, bucko.
You said, that would be interesting if they did like if Todd Phillips did like a series of these movies, and every time it's not the Joker, but it's just somebody else picks up the mantle.
Well, again, it's like assuming it's a mantle. Like I said, my actual idea is that there is a Joker out there.
Well,
so follow my train of thought. See,
okay.
We assume that time is a commodity in this.
Yeah.
And that it is a story told linearly, which it's not. And we can very easily imagine this is a story told completely in flashback by a person who is an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
And is blending his past and future selves. And this was a point that was made by E-Man's movie review, where he runs up to the edge of this theory, but I don't think he goes all the way there. He's still stuck in this stuff happens, and here's Arthur Fleck's interpretation of it. My theory is that nothing happens, or that everything happens, and here's Arthur Fleck's interpretation of it. And he makes this point that the clock on the wall, when he's at the social worker at the beginning and the psychiatrist at the end, it's the exact same time. Suggesting perhaps that everything that we've just seen took place in no time at all. That it was all out of time. And there, I think, is an important point in this, which is that this person could have had his fixation on Thomas Wayne. He's a public figure. He's well known, etc. He may know about Bruce Wayne. He may know that the parents got killed. And not for nothing, there's no way for him to know that Thomas and Martha Wayne were killed if he went from the riot to the asylum. There's no way for him to understand that. That he knows that suggests he has knowledge outside of the time stream he's existing in, which suggests that everything may well be in his own time sense. That he's in this time sense telling the story about how he, Arthur Fleck, a man who is not the Joker, imagines what it would be if he could. What if he were the Joker? What if he was the killer? What if he could be the Joker? And how could the Joker's life be his life? And he concocts this elaborate story about how he was the one who killed the guys on the subway, and he is the killer clown, and he inspires the movement. But in the end, maybe none of that happened.
Well, unless they go like the Alan Moore Killing Joke thing, where it's like, the Joker remembers it. They give you a different origin basically every time, and it's like, okay, one of these is true, but we're not going to tell you which one is true.
Why do we assume any of them are true?
Well, that way too. We could be like, hey, one of them might be true, none of them might be true. Some of them might be true.
There's it was interesting. Me and Tristan were talking about the one bad day concept today.
Mm-hmm.
And even in Alan Moore's idea of the one bad day, there's maybe even within that the concept that, it's not that it's one bad day, it's that it's no good days.
Yeah.
That if Joker had, that basically that the Joker in that story, in the original Alan Moore story, never has a good day. Yeah. He has one really bad, no good, awful day.
Oh, yeah. He even says in the flashback, he's like, I'm a loser. And, yeah.
It's like, but he's never happy. He's never content with his lot. And so when things go from bad to worse, that causes him to snap, arguably.
Oh, yeah. And I think even after he snaps, he wants to prove that, it wasn't just him. He wasn't the loser who could, I wasn't the weak one. Enough pressure, everyone will snap. That's why he tortures Gordon. That's why he cripples his daughter.
Except for the fact that Gordon has had a lot of good days prior to that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's the point. And of course, that's the point, is that he doesn't cause Gordon to snap, because not for nothing, his choices to cause Gordon to snap are really weak and pedestrian.
Oh, yeah. Even after Batman rescues him, Gordon tells Batman, he's like, bring him in by the book. Let's show him. Yeah, no, this isn't true.
I mean, and not for nothing. That's put too fine a point. He didn't even kill his daughter.
Well,
he didn't do any. Yeah, it's like he is amazingly restrained as a.
Well, he cripples her, strips her naked, takes pictures, and then shows Gordon the pictures of his naked, bleeding daughter.
Yeah,
it's not murder, but I wouldn't call it restraint either.
Oh, it's a lot of restraint, Philip.
Well,
there's a lot of things he could have done to Barbara Gordon, and then again, this is of course assuming that he doesn't know that she's actually Batgirl, because obviously if he known she was Batgirl, it could have even gone a lot further.
Yeah,
or even more to the point, if he actually had tried to do too much stuff, she might have gotten the upper edge on him because she's freaking Batgirl.
Yeah, well, we got her by surprise. She opened the door. He went boom. But I mean, I think the thing with Joker more than anything else, he doesn't like to be predictable. So if he would have killed her, everyone would have seen that coming.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah,
true.
He does.
But really, it's not the killing that is the
no.
That is as I said, killing her, crippling her, taking pictures of her naked. At the end of the day, they're all things you're doing, and the lasting effects of them, well, great, are not going to be particularly weighing on James Gordon in that moment. Essentially, he's trying to say it happens in an instant, and it doesn't. In that entire, and to Alan Moore's credit, he says, yeah, it doesn't happen in an instant. It's a lifetime of being beaten down, much like Arthur Fleck. Arthur Fleck never has a good day. And we see, for what it's worth, that Arthur Fleck is unliked among his peers. He is not good at his job. And he wants something that really, arguably, he doesn't want to put in the work for,
Mm-hmm.
Or to be more specific, he wants to do other things too. He wants to care for his mother, provide for what he needs, and also pursue a career in the arts. And, none of these things always work out very well. You have to be very lucky to make all those things work at the same time. Much more often, you've got to make a hard choice to say, you know what, I'm just going to go about my business and do my thing. And then, of course, you have that mentally ill, beaten as a child, yada, yada, yada. So where he doesn't even really have the option to make it the right. Essentially, he doesn't even have the choice to have a good day, because he is always this person who has been beaten down, who has severe neurological damage, for which medication and, once a week talk therapy is not helping, I mean, that's the thing. Now, for what it's worth, he really should have, that in a world with a better social safety net, he might have gotten more talk therapy, but that assumes he would have gone, and that I think is the real truth of Joker, is that he's a guy who did not want to get better, that he preferred crazy and miserable to content and not quite as crazy.
I mean, yeah, he's crazy, but yeah, he always says he's happy the way he is, and even like he loves his relationship, quote unquote, with Batman, because even like he's like, I don't want to know who you are under the mask. He's like, that's nothing. He's like, you are Batman. He's like, and we're locked in this thing.
Yeah, except they're not.
Well, when his,
if there's one thing that Lego Batman taught us, it's that, no, you're not my greatest villain. You're not, honestly, I really simply, I have to deal with you because you are a villain in Gotham.
What do you think it's some deep recesses of his brain? The Joker's like, okay, Batman's my check, in case I go too far.
No, because he's eating babies, so he's a guy who goes far all the time. That's the thing about who the Joker is. He is the jester. He's not the man who laughs. He is the jester.
Yes.
And he is more than happy to commit evil if it aggrandizes him. That's the thing about it. He's a guy who is looking for self-aggrandizement. He wants to be seen. He wants to be, and he doesn't care how he's seen. He just wants people to know there's a Joker out there. And, I guess that's a point. That's a perspective. It's not a healthy perspective, but we're not talking about a healthy man. So check and mate,
Mm-hmm.
If he were healthy, yeah, this would be a very bad story, but he's not healthy. So it's pretty much what you get. But for my money is on Arthur Fleck isn't the Joker. Arthur Fleck is just telling the story of how he wishes he were. And this is how he would have been the Joker if he were the Joker. And this is what his fantasy world would have been. Even to the point of him understanding that, it's sort of like this thing where he tells himself, if I see this, then I know I'm not dreaming, and yet he's still dreaming. So when he has his delusion that he can eliminate, which is Zazie Beetz, so when he realizes, that was the hallucination, but everything else is real. It's just a way of staying deeper in the fantasy.
Yeah.
What do you think, people? Do you think Arthur Fleck is not, in fact, the Joker? Do you think that Arthur Fleck is, in fact, just some other random nutto at Arkham Asylum? Didn't kill anybody. Didn't cause any problems. Simply was crazy. Well, he probably killed somebody at some point because, you don't get that commitment to the situation unless you are a danger to yourself or others. Although arguably you can be a danger to others without actually killing someone. So
would you rather that? Would you rather that he wasn't the Joker, or would you rather that he was full blown Joker and maybe we could see him later on somewhere else?
You know what? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to argue the death of the author on this. Thank you, Lindsay Ellis. I'm going to say that there's entirely a possibility that you can take away from this whatever you want, and the authorial intent is irrelevant. But I actually think that in this case, I would like to know the authorial intent. I would like to know what what's his name, Phillips something or something Phillips.
Todd Phillips, the director.
Todd Phillips, yeah. I'd like to know what Todd Phillips was going for here. And part of me thinks, wouldn't it be cool if he was saying, no, he's not the Joker, or maybe he is the Joker and this is some other aspect of the story.
Do you think
the point is that what is real and what isn't clear?
I was going to say, do you think did he do it the way he did to leave it open to interpretation, or do you think that he was like, no, this is the Joker? Or
well, that's an entirely other concept here. I think that there's a very strong argument to be made that it's meant to be left open for interpretation. It's meant to be something that you will never know. Because if you know, so for example, it's entirely possible that Todd Phillips didn't know or doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
Isn't really thinking about it. It's like, no, I wrote a script. I'm making a movie. And because that's the thing. It's like you think about, say, well, it's very inspired by Taxi Driver. There's an entire school of filmatic studies that is based on the idea that nothing in Taxi Driver happens.
No.
It's all just Travis Bickle's fantasy. And the idea that it's all just Arthur Fleck's fantasy, that he is a man who is insane, but at the end of the day, incapable of the violence he wishes he was. He wants to be violent, but at the same time, he's an emaciated little clown.
Oh, yeah.
Figuratively and literally. He is not a person, and if there's a scene that'll give you that understanding, it's when the teenagers bully him. He's in no position to fight back. He's in no position to stand up and be the Joker. No, he cowers because, first off, who wouldn't cower when you're being beaten by 6 thugs? That's actually the smart move. You don't try to escalate the aggression. You try to you turtle and you hope that you can survive it, and that's the goal.
Are you talking about it in the beginning?
In the beginning, he gets hit by the sign, yada, yada, yada.
I kind of took that, too, as like in the beginning, he wasn't completely gone, but as the movie progressed, his mental state just deteriorated more and more.
See, my point would be is that he actually did, he was already gone by the beginning. And there are actually two scenes that I think make the point that none of this ever happened. So just after he gets punched by Bruce Wayne, or not by Thomas Wayne.
Yes.
You see him and he stands and he leans against the countertop in the bathroom. And then there's an immediate cut to the exact same pose, the exact same stance. And he's in his kitchen. In the exact same moment. And it was just this thing I saw just as it happened. It's like, oh, wait, did that even happen? Because maybe none of it happened. And then you have what I think is the most fascinating thing that no one has mentioned. The thing that is the most comic book and the most odd thought in this entire series, in this entire movie, is that no one is mentioning. And that is when Arthur decides to fridge himself.
Oh, yeah.
No one is, it's like the most iconic comic book phraseology, fridging something. And he literally fridges himself, and then it cuts away. Because not even that happened. Otherwise, I explained to Tristan that you actually couldn't kill yourself in that method that he does. Because the reason why getting locked in the fridge could make you suffocate is because the fridge is turned off, and you're going to breathe up all the air. Because it is an airtight seal. But if the fridge is running, it's taking in air from the outside.
I don't think
it's actually circulating the air. So.
Well, the phrase doesn't come from getting killed by a refrigerator. Do you know the comic book story?
No, I do know. There's fridging in the comic book term, which is, yes, killing someone and putting them in the fridge.
Yeah. When Kyle Rayner became Green Lantern, the girlfriend got killed, and the killer shoved her body in the refrigerator.
Yes, I am aware of that. But then there's also the urban legend about getting locked in a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually not an urban legend. That actually happened to a lot of kids. They died horribly.
But did they call that fridging before that, though?
No, that was just dying in a refrigerator because you were a kid who hid in a refrigerator and didn't realize that old refrigerators used to lock.
Yeah.
Modern refrigerators don't lock, which is why you could never actually, even if you hid in an abandoned refrigerator, you likely wouldn't suffocate because it's not locked. You can open the door at any time. And even if you passed out, you would fall forward, and that would likely knock the door open because they're not really sealed. But even more to the point, if the refrigerator is on, it's cycling air into the refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
So because it has to take the hot air out, so it's actually going to be it actually has a flow of air, so you actually wouldn't suffocate in that either. And I made the point to Tristan that when he opens the refrigerator and you see the light on, that says the refrigerator's working, so he's not going to suffocate in there, which explains why he doesn't die in that scene. But Yeah, but throughout it, there are a lot of moments like that where you have one scene end and the next scene beginning in a much more Arthur Fleckian way. Essentially, there's the Arthur Fleckian universe where he's in command of his life, and then the real Arthur Fleckian universe where he's not. And I think if there's any kind of real story to take from this, it's that, sometimes crazy people will say they do great things that they never did because they just want to feel important for a minute. And in the way that you say, he must have killed those people, he said he did, is sort of missing the point. That the point is that all he wants is to be seen. And if the only way he can be seen is by copping to some murders, he'll cop to them.
Yeah.
And that even fits into the theme that Arthur Fleck is trying to tell, which is like you have to see people. But at the end of the day, Arthur Fleck is not a person that, maybe the world wants to see, or maybe that Arthur wants to be seen in, because if Arthur were truly seen, people would be looking at him, and he's not much to look at, and he knows it, and it would really bother him if people were really seeing him. It's not so much that he wants to be seen, he wants to be seen in the way he wants to be. And that's a whole other bag of hammers. But in other news, the Aquabats are back, Philip.
Yes, I saw you. I saw the article, but I really didn't get that.
No, that's fine. The Aquabats are a ska band that created superhero personas because they just wanted to have fun, and they're really delightful, and they do some great songs, and they created this entire mythos around their characters in the way you do if you are having fun with your life. And Tristan really got excited about them when he realized that they're on YouTube now. And they have new episodes dropping every week. And even actually when I mentioned to Ben today that, because I told Tristan that, hey, the new episode, because Tristan's gotten into it and is singing the songs around the house and whatnot. And Ben's like, wait, the Aquabats are back? It's like, yes, both my kids are into the Aquabats, so I'm very happy about that. So, Aquabats are back. That is good. Look them up. They're on YouTube now. You can watch all the old episodes and new episodes every week. The Aquabats! Okay. You want to talk comics, Phil?
Sure. You know why? I kind of skimmed Dr. Doom #1 real quick while we were talking Joker, so.
Okay, yes. And that is, I'm going to tell you, there's no better book to talk about after talking about Joker than Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Because Dr. Doom is if Joker were real and unapologetic. And so to give you a quick sense, someone has created this system, which sounds like it's not going to work.
It's like a black hole in the moon or something.
Yeah. That's not how black holes work. That's not how any of this works. Yeah. To the extent where I get the feel that Reed Richards just said, tell them it's a black hole. just say we're building a black hole on the moon.
It's just a teleportation. It's just a teleportation ring, but tell them it's a black hole.
Yeah, just tell them it's a black hole. It probably determining it in the dark dimension. But here's the thing: it's like no matter how you want to slice it, it's still baloney. It's like, although Reed Richards might be pretty much aware. Like, look. So as an example, let's say they're dropping in the negative zone, and Reed Richards is going to say, well, if we were to put this toxic waste through the negative zone, as it goes through the distortion area, it's going to be converted to antimatter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be non-toxic once it gets there. Yeah. So it's like, we're just shoving it in the negative zone. But we're going to use the phrase black hole because that's what people want to hear.
I was going to say, what if it's an empty dimension, or what if Reed created something like the Phantom Zone?
Well, exactly. It's like it's a place that they're going to stick things. And to be fair, Doom wasn't invited to play, and he's very petulant about this because Reed and Stark were like the two leads on this.
Well, he was literally the knight in shining armor charging around when Reed was missing. Now Reed Richards is back. No one's returning his calls.
Yeah, well, not for nothing. He's not wearing the shining armor anymore either.
Nope.
No, he went back to the old. It's like, oh well, I guess Reed's back. I guess I got to be the Joker in this story.
Well, when his face got messed up too. Again, one scratch. I'm sure. I know one scratch. I know.
No, they said they totally Deadpooled his face, but what I'm going to tell you, because again, his face he had the one scratch beforehand from the living tribunal. But here's what I'm going to tell you. First off, plastic surgery technology has been around for a while. Clone technology, which, as far as we know, he has no problem using, has been around for a while. And clones don't have scars.
And also, one, he knows magic. Two, he knows how to transfer his consciousness into other bodies.
Yeah, So he could totally age up a completely non-sentient clone and then transfer his consciousness into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like fixing his face. It is not that's not what's holding him back. What's holding him back is his complete pettiness.
He wants to flog himself. That's what it is. Oh, look at my face.
He wants to flog himself, but he doesn't. That's the problem. Man,
with the face thing, it's just like, look at me, I'm a hideous freak.
Yeah. Well, but and we'll get to that in a minute because, of course, one of the news anchors talks back to him.
Oh yeah,
and then Steve, and then he's kidnapped Steve. To just hold him in his grand hall, suspended upside down, to be just the biggest phallic object that is available. And it's like, Doomy, you want to know why people don't like you? Might be this. Which is, of course, why that, Otto Octavius is the superior supervillain. Because when someone actually calls him out on his stuff, he's like, well, yeah, I guess I see your point. Doom won't let anyone call him out on it. He wants to be a petty little tin-plated dictator, as the name implies. We also see that possibly because someone just stuck a black hole up on the moon, King the Conqueror is having trouble finding his way around, and apparently he's been continually visiting Doom.
Well, he gets pulled to Doom. Yeah,
gets pulled to Doom. And then we see that Doom is likewise a little bit unhinged, unmoored from time right now. Because we see situations in which,
like he's unscarred and he has like a wife and kids or something.
Oh yeah, well that's the good dream. Then the bad, this is after he's apparently has to put like medication in his scars every night.
Yeah, oh yeah. But no, I just wonder with the whole Kang thing, were they like trying to float the possibilities? Like, is it a dream, or is he imagining this, or is he seeing like an alternate timeline where everything went right?
What I'll tell you is, because there's two timelines.
Yeah,
there's one where everything goes right, and there's one where everything goes wrong.
Oh yeah, he's living in the one where everything went wrong.
Well, or is he?
Oh yeah, because of the moon thing. Yeah,
because the moon thing it's Latvian terrorists, but he didn't send any terrorists up there. Nope. He's kind of hanging a flag on that stuff, and it's a very interesting take on the storyline. The idea that none of this is actually happening, or that it is happening just in other timelines and other universes, and poor old Doom, because of his interactions with Kang, is now unmoored.
Yeah.
And he's going between these other universes.
Or is the terrorist thing actually happening in this timeline? Is someone trying to like get Doom out of the way? Because countries are coming to arrest Doom. Is there a traitor in his midst who are trying to get rid of him? Maybe.
It's entirely possible. But then again, all they had was a Latvian flag. It's not like it would be that hard for anyone to make a Latvian flag.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's so obvious.
Yeah,
that it's like. That looks a little too obvious.
Weren't they in high-tech armor, though, too? Or something?
Gee, does no one have high-tech armor in the Marvel Universe?
Well, and again, it's not going to take the world much to go after Doom. It's like, oh, there's the flag. Let's go get him. That's our excuse.
Well, that's sort of the problem. Is that it is too obvious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like when a guy murders someone on Columbo and they try to make it look like, see, here's the way it happened. Not what you think, not what you might think, but this is what you should think. It's like, yeah.
I'm sure there's certain governments in the world who would love to take Doom down. All they're waiting for is the weakest of excuses, and they got it.
Yeah. you know, and he surrenders right away to Union Jack and the other guy.
yeah, because they want to bomb the country.
Because now he's going to be all not petty for 5 seconds, you know.
Well, it's his name on the cover, you kind of have to act somewhat noble.
Not really, though. Although again, that's this Doom unmoored from time. This Doom possibly unmoored from even what he is himself.
Or I even wonder too if they're if who wrote this, I forget, but I wonder if the point of this is, oh yeah, all that stuff Bendis did, it's not all gone. There's still some of that in him somewhere.
I believe it's Cantwell is the writer. Christopher Cantwell is.
But I'm just wondering if they're trying to be like, oh no, we didn't throw.
I'll tell you this right now, Philip. He says he can't well. I think he can well.
Okay.
Meaning it was a well written.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, moving right along. Let's talk. Gwenpool strikes back. Ta-da!
Which one is that?
It's like Deadpool, but more earnest.
Is that 3?
That is 3. Yeah. This is pretty cool. She's using her flashback retcon powers. And her interactions with Deadpool are fun because they're both actively just totally shattering walls and building flowcharts, and it is just, yep, we can do this. We both can. That's great. Which also I love with Gwenpool, that she is now back to her cosmic Gwenpool self. But what she is dealing with is the trauma that people prefer her being evil to being good. Like, dang it! So she has to be evil to win. So she essentially gets a bunch of superheroes together in shorts and bikinis to brawl. And one of the best things in this is she does her big villain reveal, explaining to everyone what's going on, and then Squirrel Girl pops up and says, "Well, okay, just so you know, I have to forfeit because you're doing this." Because she says, if people don't read my books, I won't survive. And Squirrel Girl basically makes a point. Look, if you fight me, I'll win because I'm unbeatable. And Gwenpool's like, dang, you're right. Okay. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so she takes her and all of the younger heroes up to the observation deck. And then she brings out the Incredible Hulk she brings out Bruce Banner, who she shoots in the head to show she's not kidding. Although she makes the point that, of course, shooting at this point in the Hulk storyline, if you shoot him in the head, it's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. And not for nothing. Didn't they make a mention in the last Immortal Hulk about the Hulk going off to some private island for some reason?
Yeah.
This is the private island!
Oh, I thought they were talking about the Fantastic Four thing when they said that.
Oh, that might have been it too. Or maybe it's both. Who knows what it is now? But
maybe that was on the way to the Fantastic Four or on the way back. I don't know.
Impossible. Hulk gets pushed around a lot. But anyway, the whole point is that she is doing all of this for the very important reason of getting a very cool cover, which we saw here. Because what sells a book, Philip? The cover.
That's right.
She tells Terry to give her a D cup. It's all going well and good. Unfortunately, then because of the rules of her game, she got paired to fight the Hulk because she was in the battle zone. So now she has to fight the Hulk for reals. So we'll see what happens next issue. But I really enjoyed that book, Philip.
That sounds cool. Hey, did you read Loki?
Yes, I did read Loki.
Loki,
yeah. This was a fun book. I love him being a trickster god. I love that basically he is totally owning Nightmare the entire time.
He basically Roadrunner and Coyote him. He's like, here, become mortal, stand right here. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's that's more of a bug thing than a Roadrunner thing. Yeah. It's pronoun trouble. You said this. He doesn't have to shoot you now. But yeah, and I love the punishment for nightmares. Yeah, brand new soul. No, never sinned a day. Well, where do you think he went? And I love the kind of pragmatic answer he gives to the woman who was being tortured by Nightmare there by having met her spouse. He's like, well,
Go meet her.
Go meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, of course, I mean, obviously it doesn't make it right, but it's like, well, why do you think? It's like, I know it sucks, I can't fix that, you can't unspell a spell, as they used to say in Bewitched, but yeah, it was really good. It was really good. It was really brilliant. I'm not quite sure where to take the story we're getting in the second half of this, because I don't know, it seems kind of like separate from other things we've seen up until this point, where Loki is the god of thunder in this, and the Unfather is the evil Thor.
Yeah, I guess it's like a future, like a flash forward or something. Yeah.
What the what? Well, it should be cool because next issue we're going to the Old West. So that's cool.
But I love some of the dialogue in this, like when he tells the woman, "Yeah, go meet your wife," and then as she's like walking away all happy, he's like, "Did I just do a heroism?"
He did a heroism.
And then
and
then I love when Tony and Thor show up, and he's like, "Look at us, 3 of the original Avengers," and they're like, "Nice try."
Thor's like, "Yeah, totally, man. Join the Avengers."
I know, because Tony keeps saying, "You're never going to pick up that hammer." He goes, "You'll never even touch it except with your face."
Did it once. Mm-hmm. For those who remember, during the whole inversion storyline. Okay, last book I got this week was Ms. Marvel, the Magnificent Ms. Marvel. And I remember last episode, scroll down or scroll up for the last Capes and Lunatics. Lilith was talking something about Amazon and whatnot, taking over stuff.
Oh, that the books he talked about last on Capes and Lunatics. Yeah.
What's it?
Shoplifters will be liquidated.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, guess who has this relatively similar story?
Ms. Marvel.
Yeah. So apparently, a company called Rubicon, another big river, crossing it is an important point, gets taken over by some guy with powers who basically rewrites everyone who works for him. So he controls their minds. So they're very attentive workers. And he tries to take over Ms. Marvel, because if he takes over Ms. Marvel, then he gains her powers, yada, yada, yada. Not dissimilar from that storyline in The Contagion. But she does defeat him, as happens. But during the entire process, she realizes her brand new super suit is got an AI and has its own opinions on how you deal with people you're fighting, like crushing them to death.
Oh,
which is not Kamala's way. So they're kind of leaning into our black suit Spider-Man storyline here. And is influenced by later Venom stories where the symbiote makes you a little more violent. And now with her Kree nanotech suit, the suit is like, no, you said you wanted to defeat this person, defeat means to kill, right? And oh boy, that's the story for next issue. And that is my 4 comic books.
All right,
because you have to ration yourself.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, Philip. Anything else you want to talk about this evening?
No, I think we're good. Charlie.
I think we're good.
Charlie Esser's laying down. I think it's time to go.
Well, I'm relaxing. I'm leaning back.
I don't care if you lay down.
It's a chair. It's hey, now I have the phone. I don't have to sit in one position the whole time. It's both liberating and limiting. So,
yes.
There's a job for you. Okay, Philip. In the meantime, if people would like to call you on the telephone, like they did back in the 1800s, or write to you, or anything else, how can they do so?
We can always write to me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. And you can call our voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And find all of our links, our social media, our TeePublic store link, everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics.
I do wonder what the .ee stands for. Is that Eritrea or?
I don't know.
I gotta look it up. because we may be propping up a dictatorship here, Phil. We may want to look into that. Okay. In the meantime, if you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, where Moz and Paz once did back in the 80s, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet. The good place, maybe, when I think to do so. Or another show that's coming soon at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
There you go. That's our friend Maz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another amazing episode of Super Connectivity. Thank you for connecting with us. Please, super connect with us again next week. Good night.
Good night, as he closes his eyes. I will have you know, I do not prop up any dictatorship except for that of Rob Southgate.
Oh, there you go. He is Master Doom after all.
Master Doom, that's right.
Master Doom.
I gotta make a post. That's right.
Master Doom. Yeah, we make Philip do all the hard work. Must post to Facebook.
Thank you, William Shatner.